table. So at that time, 9 o'clock on Monday morning, we'll be taking a look at the biggest stories that have shaped the year thus far, the first half of the year. We're taking out all those big stories here. Your favorite OAPs will be here, night and day OAPs. We run 24/7, right? Okay, so they'll be here in the studio, and we'll take a look at these stories together. And of course, we hear from you as well. Join us then at 9 on Monday.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
We are the nation's number one talk station, no doubt about it. There is no doubting that. We're number one. The numbers don't lie, and we've got you to thank for that. I'm Sheriff Quadry. Welcome to the show. If you're watching on Facebook right now, it's a pleasure to know that you're there. If you are on YouTube, welcome one, welcome all. It's Thursday, and every Thursday on the Crossfire, we do health conversation, and we are starting a 3-part series on addiction today. Today we're going to talk about drug and substance abuse or addiction. Next Thursday we're looking at alcohol addiction, and the Thursday after next we are looking at gambling addiction. So those are the three that, any other ones can come under them. If you've got any serious or any serious addiction issue, you're very free to join the conversation. We started this particular one at 5 a.m. and I've got a lot of addiction stories ready to be tabled in front of my guest this morning, who is here already, Dr. Tiwatayo, Lasebikan, a senior resident doctor at Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba. He joins me live in the studio this morning. Dr. Tiwatayo, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. It's like all you doctors from Federal Neuro, you sound and you look so cute. The same thing with Dr.
Tomi
Alalade.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'll take the compliment back to the management.
That's a nice way to put it. Now, welcome again, Doctor. Let's start the conversation this morning. A 2018 survey, the first comprehensive nationwide national drug use survey to be conducted in Nigeria by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, on drug use in Nigeria shows that, listen to this, one of four drug users is a woman. and that 1 in 5 of high-risk drug users injects drug. 80,000 users inject drugs in Nigeria. This is a data from 2018. This is 2021, right? So according to the latest World Drug Report of 2020 last year, published by the United Nations Office for Drugs and Crimes, UNODC, around 269 million people, or let's just say 5.3% of the world population, use drugs in 2018, which is about 30% more than in 2009, while other 35 million people suffer from drug use disorders. Now, also, the United Nations Global Overview of Drug Demand and Supply, that's World Drug Report, June 2019, says, and I quote now, data from India and Nigeria, both among the 10 most populous countries in the world, there are many more opioid users and people with drug use disorders than previously estimated. This was a recent report, 2019 report, that the previously, discovered users, there are even actually much more than that the research didn't cover. They also said that globally, some 35 million people, up from an earlier estimated 30.5 million, suffer from drug use disorders and require treatment services. The death toll as a result of drug use disorder is also put at about 585,000 people dying as a result of drug use in 2017 alone. Dr. Tiwa, who is here, he can share some more recent data with us this morning. But very quickly, because when we're having conversations such as this, we need data to back it up so you can know how serious, how dire the situation is. Now, here are some figures for you. Drug addicts, if you want to know, are the persons who use or who are addicted to use of drugs for pleasure for the very first time, which leads to addiction for the future. I've spoken with so many doctors that are saying we don't use addicts for them. It's not nice, and it's da, 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 da. Well, let me talk to Dr. Tiwa is here. Dr. Tiwa, again, welcome to the show. At what point? I mean, what is addiction? Let's put it that way. Let's lay a foundation since it's a 3-part series. So to define what addiction is, I think it'll be the best point to start. What is addiction really?
Okay. So you see, addiction is a journey. So I mean, it's not the fact that one use a substance that makes the person addicted. First, what really is a substance? So we say drug and substance because it's the reason why we are saying drug and substance abuse or addiction rather than saying just drug abuse is because we know that there's a little difference. Substances are drugs, but there are drugs that are not substances. So for example, it's possible to abuse antibiotics. But antibiotics is not really a substance. Yes, that will still be drug abuse, but substances are chemicals that affect the brain function. Affects the mood, the thoughts, the feelings, the behavior. So I mean, the way you say things, then those are substances or psychoactive substances, and then so people can abuse those group of chemicals, and people can also abuse substances drugs that do not really affect the brain function, like antibiotics, for example. So you just you're having a fever and then you just go and down one sachet of flagyl or something. So then also even overusing medication. So the doctor says that you should use this anti-malaria for 3 days, but you feel I'm not yet well enough, so you use it for under 3 days instead of going back to the doctor. So that is drug abuse. But of course, we are here to talk about the ones that really affect the brain.
That's right.
Not just any type of drug now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So when we're talking about, so interchangeably I'll be using substance, or drug sometimes. Substance,
that's fine.
So addiction is it's a problem that it's a brain disease. Let me say it that way. Now I say brain disease not because addiction means madness. No, it just means that something else is taking over the brain function in a sense. So we have the person begins to have strong cravings, compulsion, a strong feeling of wanting to go back to use the drug, and then even when his head is saying don't use it, his heart is saying you have to go back, or his brain saying you have to go back and use it, that kind of thing. So there's this constant repetitive behavior or cycle of going back to it. So that is addiction,
right? Indeed.
But this is the spectrum. That's why at the moment now both the WHO and DSM is for the Americans, are trying to widen it. So it's now called maybe substance use disorders, not necessarily addiction, because it's possible that you use it first time, second time, I'm not yet addicted, but we know that because addiction is like a journey, you can end up getting addicted. So before we used to use words like abuse, which we still use, but the most recent classification in a sense is trying to go away from using abuse. And so before it used to be like when someone starts is in level of abuse, not yet addiction or not yet dependence.
That's where I want to come in right now before you go even deeper. Are there stages to addiction?
Okay, so that's it. So there's the issue of first use. Let me give examples. We're not going to use alcohol today because
we're
I think next week
we're doing alcohol next
exactly.
week. Yeah.
So for example, someone uses marijuana, for the first time today. Now that person is not obviously addicted at the first time. So initially the person uses it again. So it gets to abuse is the stage whereby it begins to interfere with the person's normal work life, normal school life, for example, family life. They begins to have maybe social problems, so the person uses marijuana and is gets upset, gets high, beats his wife, anytime he uses it, he knows that's what happens. So the person uses meth. I know that whenever I use meth and I drive, I'm driving on 220 kilometers per hour. So of course that is abuse. Even though it has not yet gotten to the point whereby he cannot control, he finds it difficult to control himself.
Right.
But the fact that it's already affecting his some day-to-day functions, that means that is already getting to the level of abuse. So you go to school, you're supposed to sit down, pay attention and write in class.
Yeah.
But while you are in class, you are so high that you cannot really pay attention. Of course, even if that happens once or twice, that is already abuse. Because it's already interfering with your day-to-day functions. And that's why for some substances, by the time you use it once or twice, it's already abuse. Meanwhile, some may not interfere with your functions initially, so it may not be abuse yet. So really that's it. So that's why it comes in stages. But at the moment now, we are just trying to group the whole thing into drug substance use disorder.
That's right.
Then mild, moderate, severe.
Mild, moderate, severe.
So rather than saying that this person is abusing it yet, but is not yet addicted, because we know that there's a likely progression.
Okay.
So we no longer want to just say this abuse, because when you say it's abuse, not yet addiction, there's a kind of feeling that I'm still okay.
I'm still okay. I'm still doing okay.
I'm doing
fine.
okay. I'm fine.
I'm controlling it.
Exactly. But we know that for many people the control fails. Of course, not for everybody, but for many people the control fails. So what we are saying is that it is substance use disorder. Yeah. So yours will be mild, but you're on a journey, and if we don't control it now, if you don't solve it now, it becomes moderate, it becomes severe.
What are the signs that someone can watch out for and say that it's like I'm going from mild to moderate, or it's like I'm going from moderate to severe? What are those signs? What are those telltale signs that people can look out for?
All right. So when you plan to use, first there are licit substances and illicit substances. Legal and illegal substances. So there are some substances that you should not even be seen using at all. In Nigeria, for example. So you can't say, for example, that you're using, the most common of it now is marijuana. Because it's very common, even though it's illegal in Nigeria. Right. So there have been cocaine, meth, amphetamines. Those are obviously illegal. So the fact that you have to really audit to use it, can in a sense even begin to interfere with your normal function. So for example, if you want to use marijuana inside the studio, you have to go to your car
somewhere,
because
somewhere
you have to
hidden.
go somewhere in there, because you can't use it at work.
Yeah.
So imagine you're taking time off work, to go use it. So it's buying into your time that you're supposed to be using to focus on
to be
work,
productive.
to be productive. So of course that is already some form of disturbance in your normal flow of life. So but how it's getting severe is by the time there's this compulsion, a strong desire. That you even when you you shouldn't use it, you have this strong desire to use it. It becomes difficult to control. That's one. Secondly, is that by the time you get to the stage whereby you find it difficult to control the use in the level of let me use layman's term. So you say, for example, I want to use just one, say, wrap, for example, of cannabis today, just one wrap. But you start the first one, discover that you go on use the second, you go on use the third. So it's like you find it difficult to say, okay, let me stop now. Because the control is already getting your ability to control it, is getting eroded. So that's the next one. Then there's the issue of
Apologies for that. Yes, go on.
Okay, so there's the issue of tolerance also. What is tolerance? Tolerance is there's an with the previous level you used to use is no longer enough to give you that same level of high. You know,
That's that same level of feeling that you used to
that
get.
level of euphoria, you know, may not even be high, maybe because there's some substances are downers, not necessarily stimulants, not necessarily stimulating. But that feeling you used to get, that same level you used to use, is not enough anymore. So, for example, say I used to use one drug, you know, but I use one drug now. It's not, I can't feel anything. So I have to take 2, 3, 4.
To get to that level.
So that is the issue of tolerance. So you see some people, for example, who inject themselves with, say, pentazocine or some of this other, you know, and I feel particularly sad for people that are addicted to injectables like pentazocine, petidine, and other opioids, because for most of them, it's not their fault. You are in severe pains. You go for surgery. After surgery, the doctor prescribes gives you pentazocine. You know, you didn't ask for it, but I mean, and then it relieves your pain. But say you get home and you start feeling pains again, and you say, there's one injection that the doctor gave me when I was in the hospital. In fact, wonderful injection. Works magic. And you get people to buy it for you. It is supposed to be a prescription only medication,
right?
But you know how it is in Nigeria. So you get people to buy it, and you use. I mean, I've seen people who, instead of one ampoule, by the time they use 3 ampoules, the pain is not going.
Oh wow!
You know, and it's not really like the pain is not going. It's just that there's a feeling that they're trying to get that is not, and people begin to use 10 ampoules.
Oh my word!
You know, and it causes a lot of problems. Petidine. I mean, I know people who have died. Really, you know, died from things like that. So that is tolerance, whereby initially 1 ampoule was okay, but now you have to use 2 ampoules, and then at a point you have to use 4 ampoules. So that's tolerance. So, you know, of course, by the time it gets to that level, a woman came to the hospital last year. She was like, she had I think it was fibroids that was giving her severe pains and all that. Can't remember now. And by the time they prescribed pentazocine for her, there was relief. But she just noticed that, doctor, I noticed that I'm needing to use more of that injection. So I spoke to my friends, and my friend said, I think that issue, I think you should go to Yaba for it. You know, and thank God she came, and then, you know, we tried to help her out and all that. So that's tolerance. Another way to know that it's getting worse is the issue of withdrawal. Withdrawal means that I stopped using a substance maybe for a day, so hours to days, and I begin to have so many terrible, let me call them, side effects. You know, so I mean, and it happens for a number of substances. I mean, the most common that goes is that some people just you get anxious, agitated. So I mean, that's why you see that people find it difficult to stop. Because when you stop, you start getting agitated, you start getting, you know, nervous, uncomfortable, you know, irritable. You know, for some people, you can't even sleep. You know, for some people, they have, depending on what substance, you know, they can have, you know, catarrh, you know, begin to yawn, they have diarrhea. So they have no choice but to go back to use it.
And they'll feel normal once they use it.
Yes, once they use it.
And that's withdrawal syndrome.
That's withdrawal syndrome. Or withdrawal symptoms for syndrome. Yeah.
Okay.
No. You can actually use the word syndrome also. You know, because withdrawal syndrome, for almost every class of drug, there's a syndrome that comes with it. You know, for withdrawal. Some drugs don't really have withdrawal, but you know, many.
At that point, you know that it's getting severe.
Yes,
you know that.
By the time it gets to withdrawal, is severe. Obviously severe. You know, another way to know that it is getting severe is neglecting other sources of pleasure, you know, just with preference for that substance using habit. I've seen substance users who, I mean, person is married, but he doesn't feel like having sex with his wife anymore, you know, because he prefers to use cocaine. And let me explain something.
Yes, please.
What really causes, you know, the reward, the addiction, what causes the reward in addiction is dopamine. You and I have dopamine. Everyone has dopamine. Dopamine is the pleasure hormone. when you are so when you eat your best meal, there's a gush of dopamine in your brain. When one has sex, when you have sex and there's orgasm, there's rush of dopamine to the brain. When you even take chocolate,
Okay.
there's some rush of dopamine to the brain. Now, of although little, not as little as food,
Okay.
then food is not as maybe high as sex, especially the ones that leads to orgasm, good sex.
Okay.
So this is what we call dopamine is called pleasure hormone. So let me just give an hypothetical scenario here. So for example, when you eat, say the units of dopamine that flushes into the brain, let's say 250, and then you take amphetamine, 1000 units of dopamine flushes into the brain.
Whoa.
So of course the person will prefer amphetamine, so because that's like 5 times your best
More
meal,
than, yeah, exactly.
or 4
exactly.
times awesome sex at the same time, instantly. So at the end of the day, they prefer to use it.
So it takes the place of other pleasure sources.
Yes,
That's when you know that it's getting severe.
it's getting severe. It's getting severe.
Doc, you know what we're going to do right now? We're almost close to our first break, but I need to squeeze in some thoughts that came in the morning,
Okay.
some addictions. So we just want to take one alone.
All right.
A listener from Israel, Obinna is his name, says that he's addicted to social media. Can someone get addicted to social media? Is that an addiction?
Okay, so in recent times, we've been updating this list of addiction.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of things can cause addiction. Social media can, gaming, games
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
And in foreign countries, we see people actually seeking help
That's
because
right.
they are addicted
That's
to
right.
games,
That's right.
social media, and some other things, gambling. We don't really see a lot of that here yet. I think that's because maybe people are not even aware.
Dr. Tiwa, I will hold you there. When we return, we'll talk some more about this form of addiction. Lagos will be right back. Stay with us.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this. Yes, I won! Oh my God, it's home, guys. Since I joined Biggie Bets, I have been cashing out daily. You don't mean it? Look at you. Let me tell you, they offer 120% welcome bonus, bigger odds, 315% accumulator bonus, got one bonus, and you can even cash out anytime, whether in a shop or online. They also have the best virtual games and jackpots. Hey, you see? They even pay winnings instantly. Guy, choose bigger rewards. Visit www.biggiebets.com. Sign up or become an agent now. Biggie Bets. Bigger reward. Bigger life.
This is what we live for. To connect with history in the making. To stream every breathtaking moment. To witness Mbappe, Kane, and all the football greats. To be part of the journey to glory. This is where we live the good and the bad. And unashamedly give our all to the beautiful game. Live the experience. Watch all the Euro 2020 action live from Supersport on Showmax Pro. Sign up at showmax.com.
Hey, Alpha now. You start your day like this. Everything is going well until the unexpected happens. Then, hey, the bass boss begin. If you get our Flexi Comprehensive Motor Insurance Plan, you can save yourself yay, and the painful cost of repairing the damage to your vehicle. For as low as 15,000 naira a year, if someone bashes your car, we pay to get it fixed. Visit www.hairsinsurance.com or call 0700 434 7764 to get the Hairs Flexi Motor Plan. Hairs Insurance, your simple, smart protection.
You get money for account. You want take small thing inside. Just do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Oga, madam, where is your card? I don't forget them for house. If you do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Anytime you need the money, but your card is there for yonder. Just go do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Cardless withdrawal with Momo agent, you. With Momo agent. Card withdraw with Momo agent, you. Any Momo agent.
Now you fit withdraw money even if you not hold your card for any Momo agent where they near you. Just dial *223# to take touchlight the Momo agent where they near your domot. Momo agent. Safe, fast, no wahala.
If you want better correct flour, no they slow down.
Elkri super oat flour. Ideo for swallow. Tobago. Your cereal. For morning. Afternoon. For night.
Elkri super oat flour. Now all weather flour where you fit to use as swallow to chop your favorite soup. Contain plenty fiber, protein, and better energy. You go get them for any shop near you. Elkri super oat flour, your new healthier choice.
This is what we live for. To connect with history in the making. To stream every breathtaking moment. To witness Mbappe, Kane, and all the football greats. To be part of the journey to glory. This is where we live the good and the bad. And unashamedly give our all to the beautiful game. Live the experience. Watch all the Euro 2020 action live from Supersport on Showmax Pro. Sign up at showmax.com.
You asked for it, and it's back.
It's a roundtable here, special broadcast on Nigeria Info. We've got the entire team here.
Oh my God, the year of first. That's what 2020 has been. It's the year of first.
You're doing empowerment for youth. You give them bikes, you give them marijuana, and then years after, you tell them not to use them.
I feel like there's a huge disconnect between the government
It's the Nigeria Info Roundtable.
and the actual consequence of poverty in Nigeria.
These are debts that can be avoidable if we just do the right thing.
All your favorite Nigeria Info presenters on air at the same time.
And the third person was an entrepreneur.
We missed the second person.
They all
We missed the second
person. The first person, Sherry, I can send it to you on WhatsApp. I can send you
All the biggest stories from the first half of 2021. Analyzed by the biggest voices on radio.
I am Sheriff Quadry, Lagos, Nigeria.
My name is Wemimo Adewunis.
You're hanging out with the techest steel.
My name's Joyce Onyemowa.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
Date 28th of June, Monday. Time 9 a.m. Only on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Catch me in my big boy car, feeling like Big Daddy. Everybody head on when I pull up in the party. And see me under my ass flexi, so I'm never worried when anybody come and bash me. I pimp my house and it's fresh to death. No matter what happens, I'm still set to forget. And people come and ask me, should I get connected? Then I tell them of my tenants protect. Whoa, my business and not that, cause I got that sweet test insurance. Trust me, it's a big boy lifestyle you live once you know that. There's insurance, got your back in any situation. There's insurance, got your back because you don't have to worry. There's insurance, got your back. Live a life with no wahala.
Visit www.hairsinsurance.com to get started. Hairs Insurance, your simple, smart protection.
Why are you so excited?
Just saw the blender I've been looking for on Jumia with a woof discount.
Yes! Jumia 9th anniversary sale is on. Get up to 70% off TVs, blenders, phones, and groceries. Buy Benetton blender for 13,990 naira. Use the voucher code Jumia Info, that is Jumia INFO, for extra 15% discount and enjoy next day delivery. Rush now, as offer valid till June 26. Terms and conditions apply.
Jumia, your everyday delivered.
John, your temperature is so high. Why have you not gone to the hospital now? Hey.
I read on Facebook and WhatsApp that if I mix...
Mix what? Hey. So in this age and time, you are still taking health advice from Facebook and WhatsApp? Hey, don't joke with your life, oh. Never take health advice from people who cannot verify their identity on social media.
This message is brought to you by Africa Check.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back to the Crossfire this Thursday morning, 99.3 Nigeria Info. It's Health Thursday on the Crossfire, and we're talking about addiction, drugs and substance abuse. That's our conversation this morning. I have a senior resident doctor at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, Dr. Tiwatayo Lasebikan, in the studio this morning. He joined us live in the studio. So, this half of the show is where we get to hear more from you. If you've got any addiction story or concern, you can start calling or dropping your thoughts on our live stream on Facebook and on YouTube. We'll take them. we'll take them. But before the break, Dr. Tiwatayo, thank you again for joining the show this morning. Before the break, we were talking about social media addiction and the rest of it, and you're making a statement concerning that.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying that of course, social media wasn't a thing 20 years ago. And so in the last few years, there has been growing concerns, in the international community and even here in Nigeria about addiction to social media.
Okay.
Just like addiction to games, video games. So of course, video games, as far back as 10 years ago, it started becoming a big deal. For teenagers, young adults, where people get addicted to it. And I must say here that having a habit, either good or bad habit, does not mean that one is addicted yet. So, for example, some people play video games a lot, even during, even during maybe exams.
Okay.
They still play it. Now, when it becomes a problem is when it's interfering, like I said, with your daily life. So, for example, I have exams and I'm supposed to, my personal plan was to read 4 hours today because of my exams. But I discovered that out of the 4 hours, I spent 2.5 or 3 on video games. Now, it's different, or social media. Now, it's different if I decide, ab initio, that today I want to read 2 hours today and spend 2 hours doing social media. Now, that is making maybe a wrong choice because you have exams.
Yeah.
But because you are in control, it's not yet addictive.
Okay, all right.
Are you getting my point?
Is it a problem when you can't stop yourself from checking the social media?
So that is the problem. So when you cannot...
Like every hour, you just, what's going on? Then you drop your phone.
Yes.
Then the next moment you pick it up again. Is that an addiction?
Okay, so when
or just a habit?
That's what I'm trying to differentiate now. So maybe you're listening to me right now, and you say, okay, let me see if I'm actually addicted to this thing.
Yeah.
So okay, let me drop it for 2 days and let me see if it will, let me drop it for a day. And you discover that you can actually drop it, no problem. And you get me?
Yeah.
Then you are not addicted. You just have this bad habit of always pressing your phone.
Oh, okay.
And you get my point. But if, for example,
I'm okay.
But if, for example, you say, okay, let me test myself, let me even drop it.
Yeah.
And you are feeling very uncomfortable, you just cannot, say, okay, well, I'll do it tomorrow. This doctor said, maybe tomorrow I'll try this Facebook break. Maybe and then tomorrow comes and you say, maybe, so you're finding it difficult to control it. Then maybe it's becoming an addiction.
Let me read some of the comments that came in at 5 a.m. today. Someone said he or she was addicted to radio, that they always listen to radio, even in meetings. They find a way to sneak in their earplugs and they put it on during meetings. Someone said that they are addicted to pleasuring themselves. Someone said that they are addicted to watching telenovelas. Someone said that they can't sleep without TV or radio on. TV or radio must be on everywhere. It must be on for them to sleep. And then someone said that they can't stop cleaning their ear, that they just have to get it something. Someone said they can't help themselves with toothpick. They have to put on toothpick in their mouth. Even when they drink water, toothpick must be there. Well, then we go to substance complaints much later on. But these are the non-substance one, that came in the morning.
Okay, let me just quickly answer these ones. So about the first one you mentioned, it was radio. Yes, radio. So you see, anything that is affecting your productivity, affecting your functioning, your appropriate functioning at work, at home, or if you're a student in school, is a problem. Is definitely a problem. Now, so it might be, we might not want to use the word disorder, but it's obviously a problem. And if, for example, now you have to sneak out to listen to radio, or you have to be listening to the radio while you are in a very important board meeting, or you're going for a job interview, and you have to use your AirPods, so that you can still be listening to radio in one ear, despite the fact that I'm having an interview. So that is obviously a problem, and the person needs to seek help. Some of these things with the work with the help of the psychologist, our therapist, we actually would design programs, that will help somebody, decondition from some of these things. And it's good I use the word decondition there, because some things are really just conditioned. We've been conditioned to it, because right for the past 20 years, you've always had to speak in your mouth. Now it's just a terrible habit that you can unlearn. Now it doesn't mean that the toothpick is is addictive.
Okay,
you understand?
It's just a habit. One bad habit you can stop.
That you can stop.
That's if you see it as a bad habit anyway.
Exactly. Now, so there's also the issue of distress here.
Okay.
Now, one of the reasons why we call something a psychoactive substance, apart from the fact that it affects the brain, is the fact that it causes distress either to you or to people around you. So let's use the issue of distress to people around you. So, for example, you take do you know that 50% of all crimes, especially violent crimes, especially murder and sexual assault, are committed under the influence of alcohol or any other substance? That's 50% of all crimes worldwide. And that is why many people frown at the use of substances, because there's this beating effect that it gives you, and that is distress to others.
Okay.
Because for example, the hoodlum, might not have the courage to come and destroy properties on his own
when he's not high.
But immediately he takes one or two, raps, he has the ginger, that is some form of disinhibition, and so that is the distress to others. Now, distress to yourself is when you say that I'm not happy, I don't like the fact that this thing is controlling me, this thing is controlling me, which takes me to the question you asked about self-pleasure. Growing up, we used to think that it was only men that do that, but now we have statistics to show that women also do the same thing, self-pleasure. And the issue with self-pleasure is also the issue of distress. One, is it causing distress to you? So you don't like what you are doing, either for religious grounds, for health reasons or whatever. You don't like what you're doing, but so it's causing you distress. You do it and you're not happy after. That's distress to yourself.
That alone is an addiction.
So that alone makes it addictive. It's an addiction. It makes it yes. Let me use the word addiction, because so you're addicted to it because it's causing distress to you, but you can't stop. Are you getting me?
You find it difficult
to stop. So if it causes distress to you the first time and say, I don't like this thing, it's making me feel sad, making me feel bad, I don't do it anymore. So you're not addicted. But you do it and then you have distress, and then you continue doing it, and then you have distress again. So that repetitive cycle makes it addictive.
Let me drop a few ones that came in the morning. Someone said they're addicted to snuff. Snuff. Someone said they're addicted to cola nut. They will take one or two in a day. They have to. It's causing a rift between him and his wife. Someone is addicted to hemp, that he must find it. In fact, if he doesn't see it in a day, he doesn't feel okay. Someone said that they have to put some drops of chloroquine in their mouth every day to feel okay. If they don't, they will have this feverish condition.
Okay. So, everything you mentioned now is very common, except the chloroquine one. Okay. So cola nut is is addictive, just like how caffeine, is addictive. So of course, I understand that. And you see, what you said about the husband and wife fighting about cola nut is an example of distress to others. That I said, for example. So you, and that may also cause distress to him if he feels like, I just want to make my wife happy and stop this issue of using cola nut, and then he finds it difficult to stop it. Then it's causing distress to him also. So that can happen. Of course, and the person can seek help. Snuff, of course, we know that those ones are addictive.
Someone said on WhatsApp just now that they are addicted to eating ice. That they eat ice every day and even buy edible ice if there is no power supply.
All right, so I'm not sure the word there is addicted, because there's actually a disorder of eating ice.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So there is.
Okay, that's interesting. We're going to go to the telephone. I'm seeing some thoughts that are coming in on social media, Facebook and YouTube. We'll take them in a moment. In case you are just joining us, we're talking addiction today. We're going to be talking addiction for 3 weeks, but today we're looking at drugs and substance, addiction. And Dr. Tiwa is here from Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, here in Lagos. He's a senior resident there. Now, let's say I'm taking your thoughts. You can remain to be anonymous if you want to be anonymous. It's okay. It's very much okay. 0700 993 993 993 and 01 465 7190. That is for the ladies only. That's 01 465 7190. WhatsApp number is 0809 597 5805. 0809 597 5805. Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3. Good morning to you. Yes, please.
What I want to ask him is because me, I have little. I can stay from month to month without sleeping, day and night.
Okay,
So I don't know if he has
insomnia. Is that some kind of addiction? That is, he can stay awake.
Well,
all day, all night.
All right. So, addiction can cause that, but one can have insomnia without being addicted at all. When I mean addiction, I mean that there are some substances of abuse that do not make people sleep. But it's very possible to have primary insomnia. No cause, that is obvious, but the person has primary insomnia. He can reach out to us if he's in Lagos, at Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Yaba, and they will be able to help him out.
Okay, fantastic. On Facebook, somebody said that he is addicted, or I don't know if it's he or she, that they are addicted to Coca-Cola, that they even drink Coca-Cola after drinking Gary. I had to mention Coca-Cola because, it's sugary and we have others, sugary soft drinks out there as well. Is that an addiction or just a habit?
All right. So because Coca-Cola has a lot of chemicals in it, including caffeine, so it is possible to get addicted to Coca-Cola just because it's possible to get addicted to caffeine.
Okay.
So
it's not because it's Coca-Cola as in a name, but because of the content that are in Coca-Cola. Same thing in coffee, in some tea. You can get addicted to all of those.
You can get
addicted
to yes. That's it.
All right. Let's take.
Maybe that's why Ronaldo,
move away the bottle, Abby. Doctor. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning to you.
Sheriff, morning.
Yes, please.
What you're doing.
Thank you.
Our doctor, I really appreciate you.
Good morning, thank you.
If possible, you can extend it to a month. Yeah, I live on the island, Lagos Island, to be precise.
Okay.
My name is Sam. I just have to abridge my name.
Okay.
I don't know who is listening. Drug in Nigeria has been something else for the past 10 to 15 years. You understand? It has really worsened the lifestyle of people. I used to watch in the movie as kids, Junkie. But I've seen Junkie on the island.
Real life.
Seriously, real life. There was a guy that asked me for 100 naira. I couldn't believe it. But when he was talking, he said he was going to Lekki. Then I went to Ibinidian. Really? I was surprised. There's a place on the island, Lagos Island, where they sell drug. Not even, I'm not even concerned about, no, I'm really bothered about medical drug. Because they've been talking since, they've not spoken about medical drug. Because they've been abusing. I used to buy codeine when I have a cough, you understand? Severe cough, 500. Before I knew it, guys started using it to drink Coke, Fanta, you understand? And it became very expensive before the government now banned it. There's a place where they sell marijuana. Even my brother, he was smoking. He still smokes anyway. But I talked to him the day he was sick. I told him, you just die and I will bury you. He was scared ever since then, you understand? So he takes it little by little. I said, if you want to take this thing, try and curtail it. But the thing is, this thing, they are almost everywhere. And the government is something else. Because they need to do their findings and curb this thing.
And do something to stop it or even help people.
You understand? I'm not saying they should scrap it. No, people will still smoke. You understand? Because I know there's a good side to it. I've read about it. But being addicted to it, taking it excessively, is something else.
All right. Thank you, Sam, for calling from Lagos Island. Let's take another call. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, sir. This is that Sheriff?
Yes, it's Sheriff, yeah.
Okay, yeah, good morning. Thank God I'm through today.
Thank God you're here.
I say good morning to the doctor in the house.
Good morning.
All right, yeah.
Yes,
please, I want to thank God for the program you are having this morning. I have a problem with my son. And it's in terms of this addiction something. You know, he's in school, but he is, he is addicted to this betting something. This
gambling.
Bet something. In fact, before I got into school, he had been a problem in the house. He will take money, whatever money he sees in the house, he will take it to go to bed, you know, squander it there and come back empty-handed to the house. Okay, now we have tried to get him to school. Do you know that any money you give him, he goes to the bed and pour it into the bed and begin to call you to send another money. So I just want to ask, is this thing addiction? If it is addiction, what do I do to him to stop this character or manner? Please, I am in trouble with him.
I'm so sorry for the situation, sir. Doctor?
Well, I mean, it's very disheartening, quite sad. Sorry about that. Yes, your son, based on what you said, you know, might be addicted to gambling. There's something called gambling addiction, and he needs help. You know, and you can also contact us at our hospital. Many times people don't like coming to Yaba Left, you know, because they think it's the home of, you know,
people are tearing their
quotes,
clothes and attacking
you know.
themselves, and
But you know, people have confesses in Yaba. Is that quiet?
There's a hotel, I hear.
Yes, there's a guest house there. There's a social center where people come and, you know, have drinks and all that. So I mean, you can just come walk in and then have a discussion with us there.
Indeed. Let's take this one here on Facebook. This person says, "Thanks, doctor. I can relate to all the withdrawal symptoms you mentioned. As a former cocaine and heroin addict, it was hell quitting, with diarrhea, fatigue, lack of interest in family and even sex with my wife, agitation and restlessness, lack of appetite, chronic insomnia. Gosh, I thank God for seeing me through, and I'm never touching those drugs again. But let me ask, will my dopamine levels get back to normal?"
Okay, so the brain works in, thank God that there's this rewiring and unwiring that can occur. You know, after about 90 to 120 days, you know, the rewiring that happened as a result of the use of cocaine and the rest, you know, can unwire itself, if you know what I mean, you know, and that's why there's this issue of rehab, you know, for about 120 days, you know, because it can go back to normal.
Well, Dr. Tiwa, we have to go now. We're completely out of time.
Okay.
I know time is never a friend. Next week, we're moving away from drugs and substance abuse to alcohol, you know, addiction next week. So we're not done yet. It's a 3-part series. Dr. Tiwa, thank you so much for coming. How can people reach you on social media? How can people reach you?
Okay, so on Facebook, even though I rarely use it, Tiwatayo for Lasebikan, and then on Instagram, Tiwatayo Lasebikan.
Dr. Tiwa, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. I am Sheriff Quadry. That's the show today. Good morning to you.
This is an infomercial.
A multinational company in Lekki, Lagos is
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.